Women have always been regarded as a weak sex by men, and this is due to the nature of their lifestyle, all body growth leaving them to be looked after in almost many things, including homes, and not until the 20th century taking on leadership roles. Well, this has to stop, and it begins with women taking it upon themselves that whatever men do, they can do. Exclusively speaking to the Kampala's Deputy Lord Mayor and also second female to hold this office in Kampala City, her worship Doreen Nyanjura, about the need of women to stand up for their own rights, did explain how it's prudent for women to take up a helping hand to men and vent for their families, since it's now a collective effort to see a family stand, but more especially if they are for equality.
I think the world has since moved on. It's no longer that it's only the men that are supposed to fend for their families. For me, I believe the women can also fend for their families, because that is one way of fighting against inequalities. I believe as long as men can take care of their families, women too can take care of their families.
Nyanjura does explain to women how it's not proper for them to over-depend on men, as too they are also mortal and can fail anyway to vent for them, but too can change any time after being promised to take care of them, hence entrusting them to God and their own conscience, as she does explain.
Because it's not easy to depend on men. Men change anytime. I've also seen women who are very highly educated, but they have been advised by their men to stay at home and to stop working. Men promise to take care of them. Now there are those that keep their promise. There are those who for one reason or another fail to keep their promises. There are those, because of course we are not immortal, there are those who die, and when they die, women usually cannot afford to take care of their families. So I think as women, we need to embrace working.
She encourages women to embrace working at their own homes or avoid staying home by simply finding employment, which entirely limits their overdependence on men.
Mine is to encourage my fellow women, if they can, please stop staying home. Go out there, try to find employment. If you cannot find employment and you have some little monies to start even a very small business, at least it can help you not to entirely depend on men. You can, some of these businesses you don't require quite a lot of money. Even if you have 20K, you can start maybe baking mandas from home, and somehow you'll get some people to support your business. Or if the man leaves you with some money at home to take care of the family, you can do some saving. And at the end of the day,
now that the nation is being locked down due to the pandemic, women and children are the most affected, something that has seen many suffering with nothing to feed on. Now the Deputy Lord Mayor Doreen Nyanjura is calling upon each and every individual that can lend a helping hand to such persons to come up, as also government does the needful.
Talk to the families that have something to eat. Kindly reach out to your neighbors that have nothing to eat. Kindly do not let people die of hunger when you have something to eat. Personally, I've been doing this. I've tried to reach out to many women that are not doing well. I'm reaching out to several PWDs who are currently not doing well. So let us support one another. Let us pray for each other. That is the only way that we shall get out of this pandemic, when we are not so hurt and when we are not so down. I wouldn't really say that we wait for government, because we are talking about a government that has been in power for 35 years, and it has really not been there to serve the common person.
This comes at a time when government came up with a project of giving out 100,000 shillings to the most vulnerable people in urban centers across the nation, with an aim of seeing them through the 42-day lockdown. Brian Senkumba, Channel 44 Prime News.